Hi YouTubers, this is Largo64 again. This time with a little fluff, just a little fun stuff here. I'm a little tired of some of the serious business, and once in a while I just get into something silly. In this case, it's some quotations. A bunch of quotations that I think are funny. Some of them might be more or less so, depending on how you feel about it. I'm going to be reading off of this other computer over here. So you're going to see the side of my head a little bit. uh, Profile. I'm not exactly the great profile. Anyway, beginning with a quote from Mark Twain. Water, taken in moderation, cannot hurt anybody. Familiarity breeds contempt. And children. That's also Mark Twain. P.J. O'Rourke says, fretting makes us important. Say you're an adult male and you're skipping down the street whistling the last train to Clarksville. People will call you a fool, but lean over to the person next to you on a subway and say, how can you smile when innocents are dying in Tibet? You'll acquire a reputation for great seriousness and also more room to sit down. Here, okay. Alice Roosevelt Longworth, who was the daughter of President Teddy Roosevelt, said, if you can't say anything good about someone, sit right here by me. George Burns said, what is happiness? A good cigar, a good meal, a good cigar and a good woman, or a bad woman. Just depends on how much happiness you can handle. According to Sir Thomas Beecham, the late, great symphony conductor, the harpsichord sounds like two skeletons copulating on a corrugated tin roof. Mac McCleary says, patience is something you admire in the driver behind you and scorn in the one ahead. P.J. O'Rourke says, politicians are interested in people. Not that this is always a virtue. Fleas are interested in dogs. Fred Allen said, hanging is too good for a man who makes puns. He should be drawn and quoted. Lily Tomlin. I've always wanted to be somebody, she said, but now I see I should have been more specific. What is the difference between a taxidermist and a tax collector? The taxidermist takes only your skin. That one was Mark Twain. Franklin P. Jones says, nothing makes it easier to resist temptation than a proper bringing up, a sound set of values, and witnesses. Dorothy Parker. That woman speaks 18 languages and she can't say no in any of them. Oscar Wilde says, I dislike arguments. They're always vulgar and often convincing. A fellow named Frederick Raphael, and I don't know who that is, maybe somebody can educate me about that, said awards are like hemorrhoids. In the end, every asshole gets one. The most common error made in matters of appearance is the belief that one should disdain the superficial and let the true beauty of one's soul shine through. If there are places on your body where this is a possibility, you are not attractive. You are leaking. That one is Fran Lebowitz. Bees are not as busy as we think they are. They just can't buzz any slower. Ken Hubbard. According to a fellow named Bert Leston Taylor, a bore is a man who, when you ask him how he is, tells you. Now, here's a quote from a fellow named Herb Caen, and if you happen to live in the Bay Area near San Francisco, you're of a certain age at least, you'll be aware of who he was. He was a columnist for one of the major newspapers in San Francisco. I'm not sure which one. But he wrote, the trouble with born-again Christians is that they are an even bigger pain the second time around. I could sure go for that one. According to Dorothy Parker, about co-eds, if all these sweet young things were laid end to end, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Franklin P. Jones says 98% of American homes have TV sets, which means the people in the other 2% have to generate their own sex and violence. And my favorite and last one, outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. Groucho Marx. Well, it was just a little silliness and probably not worth much, but thanks for watching if you got all the way through it. Thanks, folks.